I don't work here, you just said so yourself. Why would I do your job for you? By user Stina_B. This story usually comes up when reminiscing about retail horror stories, but I still can't believe the audacity when I think back on it. In 2011 I worked 2 PT retail jobs, a department store and an upscale clothing store. I accepted an offer for my first FT 9 to 5, so I had to pick which retail job to leave. I split my schedule essentially by being available to the clothing store Sunwet and the department store Thursday Sat. Originally, I had intended to quit the department store because I figured I could use the discount on workwear from the clothing store, but changed my decision based on several shifts with the new merchandising manager at the clothing store. She was fresh out of school and had been trying to throw her weight around to show everyone who was boss, and the other job folks were all generally nicer. I planned to start the new job on a day that would not affect my scheduled shifts or overlap with my already established availability for the clothing store. I popped into the store to give my notice. The GM wasn't in, the truly awful merchandising manager was Maud, so that's who I spoke with. I don't recall how my new job start date came up, but the gist from the Maud was that since even though I was not scheduled the last 3 to 4 days of the second week, because I never was, they were unavailable days for me in their system due to my other PT job. By starting my new job during that time, I was not giving them a full 2 weeks notice, because what if someone needed me to cover for them? Our conversation went something like, "Me, hi, this is my 2 weeks notice, I plan on working my assigned shifts for the next 2 weeks, it's been great, so sad to leave. Maud, will you be available all other days if someone needs a shift covered?" Me, on days I'm usually available to y'all, yes. On days I work my other PT job, it depends on if I have a shift that conflicts, and I will only be available after 5 next Thursday and Friday. Look, I was young and honest, I should have just said yes and refused any shifts that conflicted. I'm older and wiser now. Maud, since you cannot commit to being fully available to cover shifts next Thursday through Saturday, you're not giving us a full 2 weeks notice and therefore are quitting on the spot right now. Me, even if I was not quitting this job, I couldn't fully commit to work those days, because those are department stores availability days. Just like the rest of the week I can't fully commit to because those are for y'all. Maud, we need to know that you're available if someone needs you to cover their shift. Me, again, I'm happy to be available for that, if there's not a conflict with another job, which is exactly as it has been the whole time I've been employed here. If I am not scheduled at department store, I am happy to cover shifts here. If I already have a shift that conflicts with the coverage request, I have to decline. Maud, doesn't matter. Give us a full 2 weeks of availability or you don't work here anymore. Me, okay, cool, bye. Walks out. Here's the thing, it's real nice for coworkers if you can cover their shifts, and I was totally willing to cover shifts if I could during that last 2 weeks, but it is not required. We were only expected to be there for scheduled shifts. And I'm sorry, but the made-up scenario where they might suddenly need me to be in a million times a week? I kept 2 PT jobs because I was terrible at selling credit cards at both, and that's how they picked who got more than a shift or 2 a week. So I'm walking outside back to my car, completely unbothered because yeah, those shifts would be nice to have kept, but I was not about to put off a FT job with benefits because a shitty PT one is making a sad face at me and expecting a degree of loyalty that is simply unearned, and I realize this manager is running down the sidewalk calling after me. Maud, you need to come back in here and start calling other employees to find coverage for your scheduled shifts. Me, gobsmacked, you literally just told me I don't work here anymore. Maud, but you still have to get your shifts covered. You can sit in the office and call down the list of employees right now. Me, incredulous laughter, absolutely not. I'm literally no longer an employee. I was happy to work those shifts, and that wasn't enough, so that's a you problem now. When I got back to my car, I got a call from the GM. She politely told me that if I didn't give 2 weeks notice, I would no longer be in good standing with their parent company and ineligible to work for them or any of their brands ever again. I had no issues with the GM and explained how it went down and that I would not be changing my stance and was a-okay with those consequences. We wished each other good luck in future endeavors and I never went back to retail again, after ending the department store job a year or so later. Entitled Karen Assumes, by userless3000. My husband and I were up at the lake this weekend to do some bird watching during spring migration. We stopped in the visitors center to pick up a couple of sweatshirts at the gift shop. I was going through the rack asking my husband what he liked and what size he wanted. A Karen with the signature "I want to see the manager" haircut was at the rack next to me. I heard her ask how much the t-shirts are. I assumed she was talking to the 3 ladies working there. Nope. A couple of seconds later, she asks again, much louder and pissed. I turn and look at her, and yep, she was waving a t-shirt at me. I said I have no idea, why are you asking me? Why don't you ask someone that works here? Dramatic huffing. I thought you would know. Me, wearing muddy hiking shoes and binoculars around my neck, shopping for my husband, who I was calling baby. I looked her dead in the eye and said why? She stormed off to the counter, literally 5 feet away, where 3 actual employees were standing. Still pissed that the non-employee didn't know the price of what she wanted to buy. You asked me to be here, by user wandered off confused. I'm vaguely aware that there is a precedent to do some scene setting before these posts, but I think this will be more entertaining as the details are completed as relevant. Also, this was from some time ago, so won't be verbatim but as close as possible, and I have deliberately altered or obscured a few elements for animosity's sake, however everything swapped in is of an equivalent level. Why am I writing this? A. I have insomnia this evening. B. I have been invited back this year, so it reminded me of this which happened last summer. C. Why not? Hopefully my confusing experience will make someone smile. My tale starts with me, M30S, smoking a cigarette in a car park outside a hotel. I had never been to this place before. In fact, I had never been to this state before, so I was somewhat frazzled despite eventually finding my destination, and I was trying to calm and focus before entering the building. This wasn't going well. I wasn't really looking forward to what I had to do. Rather lost in thought, I became aware of a very loud, rather short, even with high heels, young lady in her 20s staring at me expectantly. We shall call her Happy. Happy, what are you doing? The tables are in a diamond, not even. This must be changed. The guests will be here any minute. Ugh. Happy, what is wrong with you? Grabs arm and starts half pulling, half frog marching me into the building. We have very important people coming to this. People from all over the world. This will not do. You will embarrass us. Attempts to get a word in, fails miserably. At this point, we have gone past check-in, through a series of double doors and corridors, and at the entrance of a rather imposing auditorium. Happy continues, what I need you to do is move these tables, here, here and here. Happy goes on to explain in great detail how she wants the room to look. At this point, probably a good time to make the first of a couple of notes about myself. I was wearing a black suit. In fact, a reasonably expensive suit, not that it matters as I do have the general appearance of the offspring of a garden gnome that got too amorous with a Valkyrie. So beard, heavy set features, incredibly broad but not particularly tall. Or like every mover, door security, or general dog's body. The assumption that I am there to do things is well established and usually cleared up with happy to help if I can, but I don't work/have any control/am actually one of the guests. Therefore the situation is not unknown and not too concerning. The next bit was slightly more odd. Happy finally finishes explaining. I'm really sorry, but I'm not a member of staff. I don't really think they'd be happy for me to move their furniture. Happy, I don't need excuses. Get on with it. We are paying you well, so just do as I say. I'm waiting for someone from Britain who is very important to the event. Sorry? Happy, why are you sorry? Are you waiting for the speaker for this charity event? Happy, that is none of your business. Asterisk snaps on her heel, walking off. Just get on with it. At this point, I was rather dumbfounded. Mainly, and as the bouncer from New York M&M store once told me, you sound just like someone from Mary Poppins. I also speak in a very English way, using sorry as an exclamation as much as anything else. I'm so English, I have even been known to say hello when surprised. I would have thought this would have at least opened up a small question in her mind about who I was and why I might be there. However, this nuance of my speaking voice had clearly been missed. This left me with a couple of quandaries. One was what I should do with the chair situation. The second was whether I should go back to her, but was somewhat concerned as they had described them as important, and that is a very relative term. And 3, I had no idea where I was again. Issue 3 was solved first when a very nice cleaning lady stopped and asked if I needed help. I didn't really know what to say and just asked if I could be shown where the front desk was. As I was just getting there, the CEO of the particular charity running the event hustled over to introduce herself in person and thanked me for being there. We were quickly joined by 2 or 3 colleagues who we both knew, mostly through video chat, and the whole chair issue rather floated to the back of my mind. That was until. Happy, What do you think you are doing? Group, stops talking and all turn towards her. Happy, those tables haven't moved and, as you can see, our guests are here. I want to speak to your manager. I want them to know how much you have let us down. I want a discount and an apology. Group, looks confused. OP, looks embarrassed. To be fair, my natural way of being and I did think I should have resolved the issue sooner. Happy, grabs arm and starts to pull me towards reception and loudly exclaims for the events manager. Charity director, Happy. What on earth are you doing? Please unhand Lord OP. Room, goes very quiet, or at least it felt like it did. Happy, Lord OP? Charity director, yes, Lord OP has come from Charity to be the keynote speaker. Turns to OP. I'm so sorry, I cannot apologize enough. OP, raises hand. It's fine. I know how stressful these big events are. Happy, staring. Director, anyway turns back to the group, leaving a space for me to join. Which I did. Happy, wait. What? Why are you pretending to be the speaker? Group, turns and looks again. Happy, this is ridiculous, I'm going to find your manager. Director, no, Happy. This really is Lord OP. Happy, why didn't you say that earlier then? OP, you didn't really give me chance. Happy, but you should have. OP, it's not really what I do. I do quiet and a bit nerdy. Happy, but look at you. OP, thanks, this last bit really is as close to verbatim as possible. Even as a bloke in his 30s that stung. Director, Happy. With me now. At this point, they march off and disappear. A few more notes about me. I am a specialist in a certain type of charity work and have been fortunate to speak across the world discussing research, best practice, and how to create a more equitable society for a situation that can affect everyone, no matter that background, financial position, or beliefs. Hence being a keynote speaker is not uncommon, but I do not enjoy this element of my job. Secondly, I really am a lord. Do you know what that means? It means exactly 3 things. 1. I had an ancestor that did something that made the crown want to award them with a title. 2. I happen to be the eldest male relative for however many generations. 3. My own dad is dead. That is it. No money. No special schools. Just a random piece of trivia that Americans really seem to lap up. I should note I actively hide this when speaking at home, in the UK, as it has the opposite effect. I didn't see Happy for some time. I wondered if she had either been sent home or gone into hiding. I had already decided to make sure it didn't have any long-term issues for her, as these events really are stressful. That wasn't necessary. After I gave my speech and listened to the other main speakers, I excused myself for a few minutes to the back room to hyperventilate. Okay, a bit of an exaggeration, but I always need a few quiet minutes between speaking and mingling at lunchtime when people inevitably want to have a chat. Happy is sitting there. OP, oh, hello. How is the event going? Happy, air. Seems to be going well. Need to make sure lunch arrives on time. Awkward silence. Happy, I'm so sorry for mistaking you for someone else. I should have known who you were. OP, why? Happy, it's rude. OP, why? Happy, it's not very organized. I thought I had memorized everyone. I can't believe I forgot the main speaker. I had all the photos and everything. OP, photos? Happy, yes, you were all asked to send photos for the program. OP opens program, for anyone wanting to know why there was one there, you clearly never been to an event like this. The stupid things get everywhere. Points to the charity logo where face should be. I didn't send you a picture. I forgot. Happy, you. What? Why didn't your secretary send one? OP, laughs. Yep, you were dealing with me directly. I forgot. Happy, what? OP, yep, tiny but powerful charity. And organized about these things is not my strong point. Happy, starting to laugh. So I didn't have a chance then? OP, nope. All laugh. Happy suffered no repercussions and was given a very nice bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine at the event. I got incredibly merry at the evening dew on their dime and was glad to be part mythical creature as my hangover was far less severe than my drinking buddies, or the majority of top minds in the field. I hope this silly little story makes someone's day and now I shall try and sleep. That's not really why I'm here, by user wandered off confused. Today's tale of confusion and exasperation comes from the year of our Lord 2022, in a supermarket of Orange whose automatic doors never seem to fully close in the old world, a kingdom that calls itself united despite constantly having discussions about being more independent. It would be a day of overexertive ne'er-do-wells, perplexed employees, and unnecessary loss of sanity, but all for the worthy purpose of making someone's lives better. Side note, can you tell I couldn't really work out how to start writing this down, so have written something to purely amuse myself. I shall knock off the faux medievalism now. It was obvious that this was going to be one of those days from the very moment I stepped into the supermarket that would be my place of work for the next 4 hours or so. With a pop-up banner on each shoulder and a case of information and advice leaflets in tow, I was already weighed down. It being a 9:30 start and a couple of hours travel, I was also feeling somewhat dopey. To be fair, this is often my natural inclination, but being overtired does not help. Having stopped in the lobby to get my bearings, I was quickly approached by a woman we shall call decaffeinated. Decaffeinated, do you serve decaf to-go cans? OP, sorry. Decaffeinated, decaf coffee. Do you sell it? OP, I assume so. There will be a coffee aisle somewhere? Decaffeinated, your coffee aisle is refrigerated. OP, air. I'm really sorry. I don't understand. Asterisk at this point, I was really wanting to put the banners down. Decaffeinated, all I want is my can of coffee. Surely, you know where this is? OP, no, sorry. I've never been here before. Decaffeinated, well, why are you in a suit then? OP, air. What? Sorry, what? Decaffeinated, you are bloody useless. Is there a manager higher than you here? Asterisk note, I should have absolutely cottoned on to this interaction at this point but didn't. OP, no, I'm here by myself. Decaffeinated, what are you talking about? OP, I'm here to run my stand? Decaffeinated, what? What are you talking about? All I want is information on getting my coffee. OP, I genuinely have no idea. Decaffeinated storms off. Feeling somewhat unsettled and still really tired, I shuffled off to find the customer service desk where I met the excitable but dim customer assistant. We shall call her Peppy. Peppy, how can I help you today? OP, hi, I'm here from charity and we have an information event with you today. Peppy, that's exciting. OP, yes it is. It's always really great to reach people in their community. Where do you want me to set up? Peppy, asterisk big smile. Says nothing. OP, air. Is the event coordinator here to talk to? Peppy, who's that? OP, I have been talking to Charlotte Smith. Peppy, I don't know her. OP, is there someone I can talk to who might? Peppy, I don't know. We can ask Charlie. OP, okay, could you call them for me? Peppy, I'd love to. I just love using the tannoy. With a literal skip and a jump, Peppy then turns to the tannoy and changes her accent to what can only be described as a version of the Queen's English if misheard underwater. There is no reason to add this detail other than its peculiarity. Peppy, please wait and I'm sure we can. Decaffeinated, oh my god, can your flirting session stop so you can just let me pay? Peppy, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't want to give you the impression that I was flirting. You're a bit old for me. OP, sorry, what now? Peppy, I'm so flattered but I'm really not interested. I have to think about my studies and I just think someone closer to my age would be better. Decaffeinated, it is so unprofessional for a manager to be flirting with a young, impressionable staff member and she is clearly saying no. You should back off and let her serve customers. Actually, is he harassing you? Peppy, oh no. He has been kind. OP, I'm not who you think I am? Peppy, I'm sure you are lovely for someone your age. Decaffeinated, I don't care how important you are. It's sick to be preying on young naive women. I demand to speak to someone about this incident. Up to this point, I have been fairly vague about what I was actually doing there. I work for a charity and specialize in research, law, and campaigning but minor in being a source of lots of random, but hopefully useful, information that can support people to have better lives. To do this most successfully, I periodically go to community places and make myself available free of charge to meet and see if I can help. It's a very pleasurable thing to do when I can help, but deeply affecting hearing the stories of people who, through no fault of their own, have difficulties that they need support with. On this particular occasion, a supermarket was chosen, hence the current scenario. With this additional knowledge in mind, I had concerns on the micro and macro levels. On the micro level was what expression was appropriate for this moment. How to convey horror at being accused of something while not indicating in any way that there was anything wrong with the staff member. Made somewhat more difficult by a face of marshmallow that is unquestionably expressive, but with an owner who has little control over what that expression may be. Shortly followed by what words were not going to make this situation worse. There are a lot of words to choose from, and far more were going to be negative than positive. Finally, on the micro level, my shoulders are really starting to burn. Pop-up banners are made of metal supports and really do get heavy, and I'd been holding them for some time by now. On the macro level, I was being accused of something quite serious, and I was literally there to talk to vulnerable people who need to have full confidence in my integrity to be able to open up so I can support them properly. It's challenging enough when you look like someone shrunk haggard and who sounds like someone who went to Eden attempting a Cockney accent. In fact, it's like someone saw my fair lady and wondered if it could be reversed. Public accusations are not conducive to this happening. I had to act fast, decisively, and with precision. OP, hey. I'm sure that. But I really don't. Hey. Oh dear. Charlie, oh Mr. OP, I am so delighted we were able to get you into our store. I had been saved. Decaffeinated, oh, you're another one of his hangers-on, are you? Well, the behavior I've seen is disgusting and I think disciplinary action is in order. Charlie, I'm sorry madam, what has happened? Decaffeinated, your manager, gestures at me, was rude and unhelpful when all I wanted was to know where the cans of coffee were. Asterisk gestures to can in her hand. He sent me to the tea and coffee aisle. Can you imagine? Then I try and buy this and some cigs and he is basically ogling this young girl. It's just disgusting. Charlie, Peppy, are you okay? Peppy, yes, why? Charlie, why did you call? Peppy, this gentleman is here for some charity thing and wanted to speak to Charlotte Smith. I didn't know who that was, so we decided it was best to ask you. Charlie, Peppy. I'm Charlotte Smith. Peppy, are you? Charlie, yes, Charlie can be short for Charlotte. Peppy, really? Charlie, yes. Decaffeinated, is this really important? Side note, recalling this now, I need to be more assertive at times. Charlie, did OP say anything inappropriate to you? Peppy, no, I just thought I had been over-friendly again. You said I needed to be more careful. I give people the wrong idea. Charlie, miss, gestures at Decaffeinated, please can you tell me what you saw? Decaffeinated, they were talking for ages. I'm busy. I need to my cigs and to go. Charlie, did you see or hear anything inappropriate? Decaffeinated, I mean. The body language. And look how red his face is. Charlie, you mean the gentleman who is holding the heavy banners? Decaffeinated, why is he holding banners? Charlie, for the stand he is running? Decaffeinated, what stand? Charlie, for the charity he works for? Decaffeinated, he works for you. Charlie, no, he doesn't. Decaffeinated, yes he does. He said so when I asked where the coffee was. OP, asterisk rather meekly. No I didn't. I did say I hadn't been here before. Decaffeinated, asterisk pauses. You did say that. OP, I did. Silence. The sort of silence where everyone appears to be thinking what to say next and it goes on too long and no one says anything. What is happening is the queue for the cigarettes and lottery is getting long. Really long. Charlie, so OP, do you want to come with me to set up? OP, air. Should we address? Charlie, let's not. And we walked away. We chatted about how odd that was and how she would talk to Peppy afterwards. She left me to set up but was back after a while afterwards to apologize again. Turns out that Decaffeinated tried to get her purchases for free due to the inconvenience and had a hissy fit when Peppy said no. Security had politely asked her to leave and, hopefully, after a conversation with Peppy, although I cannot confirm this, had decided this was in her head rather than an issue. It had been a hectic start to the day and it was only going to get more confusing, convoluted and frustrating as I met the harem of Karens an hour or two later. However, that is a tale for another day. I apologize for the length. I do not appear to be good at brevity. If you would like to hear this, please say. I don't want to waste the subreddit's time if it is unwanted. Final notes. Firstly, hello to all you pre-scrollers. I would absolutely do the same. The words used are as close to my memory as possible. Where I have forgotten exact wording, I have tried to find appropriate replacements for tone and feeling while keeping half an eye on making it entertaining. On the occasion a real name was necessary for the story, the name has been changed but the gender ambiguity was matched. I'm sorry again for the length. Finally, I hope you found it entertaining and I hope you have or had a lovely day where you don't have to deal with anyone who makes your life more difficult. A Harem of Karens, by user Wanderedov Confused. I'm going to start with an apology as I need to do a little housekeeping before I start this post. Firstly, this is a continuation from a previous post which should hopefully be linked here and I will put in the comments in case it doesn't work. Secondly, it has been noted I have a rather more languid and whimsical style than most posts on here. So this will be long and I can't promise the satisfying conclusion that you all rightly deserve. This is more about the journey than the destination. I'm sorry if this is not what you are looking for. Finally, due to the relevance to the story I will be touching on some subjects that can be difficult or distressing. If you have any questions, I am happy to assist and signpost to relevant support. Never suffer in silence. Reach out and it can only get better. For those who have stayed, I shall begin. For my information stand, I had been given a space in the entrance foyer. In fact, a space had been neatly incised into their potted plant display with a table and enough room for my little tent. I had automatic double doors to my right and the great expanse of the supermarket as far as the eye could see to the left. Or at least the fruit and veg aisle. Every time I emerged from my tent I felt like declaring today, I have mostly been supporting people with their needs. Side note, it occurs to me this might be a tad obscure. Please look up Jesse's diets for reference and I really hope that this makes at least one person's day. Such a position is great for visibility. Less so for having in-depth conversations about complex medical, disability, and care needs. Even worse for keeping pop-up banners upright. Each and every time the door opened, it was met with a clang of one or the other banner toppling elegantly but noisily to the ground. The solution is string. String connected to every possible surface to create tension so instead of falling, they wibble and wobble but never fall down. Think Spider-Man with a spasm. Finally set up, I awaited what may come my way. And I was busy. Really busy. Anything from how to get training for personal care to legal arrangements for medical and financial matters to wonderful, caring people telling me their deepest secrets in the hope of a magic bullet to free them from their ills. It's a great privilege to do this and, while there is no magic bullet, there are routes to start to make lives easier and to escape negative thinking patterns to find the rewards in tragic situations. After 2 hours of non-stop hustle, the crowd cleared and, outside a few interested outlooks, tranquility had returned to my little space. Enter the first of our protagonists. No more than 17 or 18, this young man of questionable fashion choices had been watching from afar. We shall call him the player. At the same time, a woman in her late 40s or early 50s was orbiting. Unfortunately, experience tells me one thing, like an asteroid on a radial elliptic orbit, when they finally hit their target, it will be something devastating. We shall call her Miss Timid. Miss Timid, excuse me, are you OP from Charity? OP, yes I am. How can I help you today? Miss Timid, I just want some more information. Asterisk an uncomfortable amount of silence. OP, what type of information are you seeking? Miss Timid, I just want to know what my options are. OP, no worries, would you like to slide into the tent and have a chat? Miss Timid, no, I don't want to be a bother. I just need to know what my options are. OP, why don't you tell me what you want to achieve and we can get the ball rolling? Asterisk after a considerable pause. Miss Timid, I looked after my mother with dementia for 15 years. It stole my time from children. Broke up my marriage and left me rebuilding. I've just been diagnosed with the same dementia and don't want my children to do the same, so I would like to know my options for the future. The player, yo bruv, can you show me where the vaps are? At this point, my mind is spinning. Miss Timid isn't timid but clearly in a post-diagnosis haze. This is probably the most devastating news of her life and her options could disappear down a very dark tunnel, very quickly. I needed to establish timelines, points of contact and whether this was a medical emergency as well as a psychological one. This is the time where I have to put up or shut up if I want to be this go-to person I think I am. The last thing I want to do is think about VAPs. I should have dealt with this better. OP, please, come through to my little area. We can't chat about this here. The player, bruv, listen, where's the VP at? OP, no idea, go and speak to the information desk. The player, no, I'm asking you. Do you job and take me to them. OP, bud, listen, I need to deal with this situation. Please go and find something else. Start to half guide, half push Miss Timid into the tent. The player, why is she more important than me? You can help her later. All you have to do is take me to the VAP's end. OP, admittedly in a harsh snap, listen mate. I don't know. I don't actually work here. So kindly, fuck off. The player, what you say to me? Finally getting Miss Timid to sit down, I turned to face the player who is sizing up to me. The player, I said, what did you say to me? OP, I said, fuck off. The player's face changed. Dawdling around on my stand, I don't look that big or imposing. To be fair, I'm not most of the time. I'm certainly not very tall. I am, however, very wide. I'm the sort of wide that I only look in place when standing next to the front row of a rugby team or the operatic section of the National Opera. No one really notices until I'm tested and then it becomes more evident. Probably helped by a misspent use, which means I can still back it up when absolutely necessary. The player decided this was the point to decide that this wasn't necessarily the best idea, turned heel and scarpered. I hustled into the tent and went to work finding out what I needed in the most delicate way possible. Side note, I have spent a significant amount of time deciding if I should do more to anonymize Miss Timid or hide the extent of the severity of her dilemma. Sadly, I am confident in my belief this is becoming so common that Miss Timid is unidentifiable, which has also swayed the need to make the brutality of the situation so evident. Maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes of being in the tent, it is really difficult in such a scenario to monitor the passing of time. I heard the unmistakable tinkle of cash in a jar being moved. Oh! Bugger! In my haste, I had completely forgotten to take the donation tin off the table. As I emerge, there stands 5 identical teenage Karens with the player Smuggle standing between them. His harem protecting their prince. Go on, you didn't think I would really title a story like this if they weren't the main event? The harem were spookily similar in appearance. All with long, straight-dyed blonde hair. Matching tracksuits in pink, purple, or red with a makeup routine that reminded me of Scream's ghost face. Although I have been assured by trendier people than I that this was the height of cutting-edge fashion, and who am I to say that Edvard Munch's The Screams shouldn't be trend-setting once again. Karen 1, who do you think you are? Karen 2, yeah, he's our boy asterisk yes in unison. Karen 1, we are going to fuck your shit up. Karen 3, what you think you are anyway? Some kind of poser doctor. You're not real. Karen 2, yeah, you a fake ain't you asterisk yes in unison. Karen 4, yeah, you taking money of ain't you? Yeah, what you gonna do if we take it away? I made a truly terrible half-committed attempt to snatch it back, but it was out of my reach embarrassingly early as I grasped at thin air. Karen 1, yeah, you trying to grab us too? You a perv? Asterisk yes in unison. Karen 4, I bet you do all sorts of nasty shit in there asterisk pointing at the tent. Karen 2, yeah, you pretend to be all that when you really stacking shelves. Karen 1, you nothing but an old busboy, I don't know what this is or whether I misheard this in the moment. It did stand out as a really odd insult. OP, please give me the charity tin back. The player, you not so big now are you? You afraid of some girls? They are going to fuck you right up. Asterisk yes in unison. For the second time that day, I thought I was in a bit of an insurmountable hole and was desperately trying to calculate the best option. Hopefully, the ruckus was enough to attract the attention of security or actual staff. However, what were the chances that they ignore disruptive teens as a general rule of thumb? What about if they did attack? Miss Timid was in the tent and completely vulnerable. My first duty was her care and I couldn't put her in harm's way. Should I leave my position to make myself more vulnerable but save her or use the table in front of me as a barrier? Despite the numbers, there was no way of actually being involved in a physical altercation against teenagers that would make me look good in any way. I'd resigned myself to losing the money. It would be annoying but manageable for the greater good. I needed to make the smart move and time was running short then. Scrape, twang, crash, scream. One of the Karens had used all her weight to shove the table towards me. I had felt a bit of pressure but little else, however the string has not fared so well. Twanging away from the supports, the momentum had, in turn, knocked both pop-up banners down simultaneously onto 3 of the harem. The final noise was the collective scream of fright and maybe even a little pain as the banners fell on top of them. All 6 turned tail and ran. Money tin in hand. The player leading the way courageously like all great generals leaving the battlefield before the warriors on the front line. Unfortunately for them, they had alerted the security who were able to quickly and easily intercept them on their fruitless attempt at escaping. The harem and their charge were herded back towards my information table as Charlie made an appearance. Charlie, OP, what is going on? Are you okay? The player, this guy tried to sexually harass my friends. Karen too, yeah, he was like, all over us. Asterisk yes in unison. Charlie, you know we have cameras right? I mean, look, you can see yourselves in them now. OP, massive belly laugh asterisk harsh but defeated looks from the group. Can I have my charity tin back now? Karen 4, what tin? Charlie, asterisk on radio. Can we get the manager and call the police please? Karen 1, what? No cops. Charlie, you stole the charity tin. Karen 1, but we never left the store. Can't steal if you don't leave the store. OP, it's mine. Or more accurately the charity's. Asterisk turns to Charlie. I have to press charges. Sorry. Charlie, why sorry? OP, it's just a nuisance. At this point, I go white realizing I haven't checked on Miss Timid. I pulled Charlie aside, explained the scenario and went back to dealing with the first situation. A little while later, a heavy-set man came storming into the supermarket looking rather upset. A little bit later, the heavy-set man came across to me with the player following meekly. Heavy-set man, Mr. OP, how are you? OP, I'm fine. How is your mother-in-law? Heavy-set man, out of hospital. Starting to recover. The surgery is holding but not remembering she had it means we're having to tag team sleep. OP, you need to consider how sustainable this is. Heavy-set man, I know. Asterisk looks at the player. Apologize. The player, mumbles an apology asterisk turns heel and back to where they came. OP, air. Heavy-set man, that's my son. He's only 15 so we got called. Apparently, they are working out what to do and who did what. OP, sorry. Heavy-set man, his fault asterisk sighed and wandered back. As it turned out, all were under 16. After some discussion between myself, the supermarket, the police and the parents, it was decided a sizable donation, a store ban and a last warning would do. The heavy-set man's mother-in-law passed not long afterwards and last I heard, they had not had any more trouble from the player. I have been back to see Charlie last year and will be back later this year. Miss Timid was looking for care home options and didn't want to tell her children why. I was able to calm and persuade her to talk to her family about what was about to come. She is very settled and lucid in an assisted living facility. She is still working and the dementia has not progressed as fast as feared. And this is the end of this rather epic tale. Final notes, the words used are as close to my memory as possible. Where I have forgotten exact wording, I have tried to find appropriate replacements for tone and feeling while keeping half an eye on making it entertaining. If you are affected by anything written here, please do ask for help. Ask here. Ask a friend or family member. Ask a charity or a religious group. Do not suffer alone. I will be looking and will do my best to support.